We spent 2 weeks in the headquarters campground at the east end of Fundy National Park. Alma is in walking distance, just outside the park. Welcome to our escapades. Ursula is the navigator, my name is Dieter, and I'm the wheelman. We'll talk about our excursion to St. John and Moncton. But now we start here in Alma, a beautiful fishing town with all the conveniences that made our stay outstanding. Alma is located on the Bay of Fundy, which is known for the highest tides. The water level here at that time changed from 7 to 8 meters. So the boats float, or they do not. While we're at the source, we took advantage of the fresh seafood. The Alma Lobster shop was the right place. I ordered lobster, and Ursula got the lazy lobster, the same beast but no shell. Oh, we had lobsters 2 days before. The Octopus's Garden Cafe came highly recommended. So we walked and we could have a glass of wine. We started with the tomato soup, followed by lobster roll and lobster sandwich. Now fast forward to the last weekend of our stay in Alma, the Alma Lobster Fleet Launch. This is the launch event of the fall fishing fleet with food, concerts, parties, kids activities, a market and fireworks when the boats leave the harbour.
Hello!
Hello, hey guys!
What can you offer? Pancakes?
Yeah! Pancake and sausages. It's all donated to our grad class for prom this year.
Yep. Okay.
I'm heading up there.
Perfect! Thank you guys!
You're welcome!
Thank you!
Have fun! Bye guys!
Wait, it's a vlog! Wait, we're on YouTube! We're on YouTube!
That's crazy.
Yeah!
The whole town celebrates and draws a lot of visitors. The kids activity center and the market. Halloween is coming up and the skull in the bottle is exactly what we need. The launch was announced for 7 o'clock. The boats were still being loaded. The tide was still rising and it was already 6:30. Will they be ready to leave the harbour? The first 2 boats were leaving the docks on time. During our stay in Alma, we learned that lobster fishing in eastern Canada is from about April to November. Not all at the same time. There are about 40 zones in eastern Canada. They have a few weeks to catch their limits. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans sets the dates and the time. In Alma, they had to wait until October 13th at 7 o'clock. When we asked in New Brunswick if it is lobster season, the answer was always yes. The localized fishing schedule makes sure that the lobsters are always fresh. I was reading an interesting article about fishing in Alma. The link is in the description. They talk about the challenges here in Alma, and one of them is the enormous tides. There is a very small window where the boats can get in and out of the harbour. One thing is for sure, this is the place to eat fresh lobster. We had seafood every other day, fish and chips, mussels or lobsters. It was like our Newfoundland trip in 2022. The Bay of Fundy is also the place to experience the crazy tides. don't expect to see the highest tide on record of 16 meters. When you are near the shore, you must consult the local tide schedule. The levels in the Bay of Fundy are very much dependent on the gravitational pull of the moon and sun. The rise and decline of the water level is magnified by the shape and direction of the bay. We are here at the Hopewell Rocks Provincial Park, a stunning display of the tidal forces that form the rocks. We arrived late in the morning during low tide like many other visitors. The rock formation spans over about 600 meters and are accessible only during low tide. We were walking on the ocean floor and exploring the flower pots. Well, the official name would be sea stacks. We walked between the towering rocks that form caves and arches. I overheard two younger ladies talking about the place. One comment was amusing. "You can hide a body in these caves." We noticed one feature that we didn't read about before the visit: the mud. The frequently asked question on the park's website explains the mud as: the sediment never gets the chance to fully settle, resulting in a beautiful, nutrient-rich chocolate brown color. Park staff started to clear the beach. The tide was flooding some of the southern sections. Time to head back to the stairs. Most of the visitors left the park, and we decided to wait around for the high tide at 3:40 and get lunch while waiting. One more seafood serving, fish and chips. Then back to the stairs and get another look at the flower pots. This spectacle happens twice a day. With a little bit of planning, you can schedule the visit and see both the high and the low tide. It is well worth it. Another interesting place to see is St. Martin's Sea Caves. We had to cross the Fundy National Park and take Shepherdie Road west. The fall colors peaked when we were there. Simply breathtaking. Then take the road through the Fundy Trail Provincial Park, and 80 kilometers later we arrived in St. Martin's. First order of business, lunch. It was past 3 o'clock. Guess what? Lobster roll and fish and chips. All the coaches had left by the time we visited the caves. It was 6 o'clock, the sun was setting, and the diminishing light was perfect to see the caves and take pictures. These caves are accessible at low tide, so time your trip wisely. A coffee and lemon meringue pie at the Caves restaurant before we hit the road. They may claim to have a world-famous chowder, but their lemon meringue pie is simply out of this world. It was a delight and well worth the calories. Actually, that was our dinner. The reason we delayed the drive home was the sunset. Well, it wasn't picture perfect, but a worthy close for the day. The tides in the Bay of Fundy display two other spectacles. For the first one, we had to drive to the viewing point in Moncton's Boar Park. The Petty Kodiak flows through the city and into the Bay of Fundy. The water flows down the river most of the time. When the high tide pushes the water into the riverbed, the tidal bore is created. It is an upstream traveling wave of up to 30 inches. Be there 20 minutes before the official time. The wave is very untimely. For the other spectacle, we had to travel to St. John, the reversing Falls Rapids. The St. John River flows down during low tide and up during high tide. We missed the time when the water flow reverses. Too many coffees today. No wonder I had to rush to the outhouse. We are at the Fundy Trail Provincial Park. There are over 50 trails, lookouts, beaches and waterfalls in the park. The road above the coast is spectacular. We stopped at Long Beach. The Interpretive Center has an interesting exhibit about rocks. Adopt the rock and follow the instructions that reads, "On your computer, search for rocks from the Bay of Fundy." It will be an interesting read. The creek prevented me from going to the other side, where there is a sandy beach. I tried to cross. Well, not today. I was not in the mood to get my feet wet. Off to the next trail, the flower pot. There was no access to the beach to our knowledge. And then it happened. We hit 360,000 kilometers. Lots of adventures, lots of memories, and one dependable companion, the Jeep Sahara 2013. No time to celebrate. The next stop was the suspension footbridge over the Big Salmon River. The highways in the foreground. The squeaky noise is the bridge, not me. And as usual, wherever I am, the fish are not. I couldn't see any. Moving to the next park, the Fundy National Park. Our campground was in this park, so the trails were close. Of course, we had to sit in the red chair. They are in a beautiful location along the trails all over the parks in Canada. Neat idea and very comfortable. We hiked the Moosehorn. The trail description says strenuous, gradual downhill. Is it ever? Always keep in mind that whatever you hike down, you eventually have to hike up again. We reached the first waterfall. I guess we start small. I wonder if this is an old native marker tree. The location we're at would make sense. We found 2 of them along the way. Check out the Kindness Rocks project on Wikipedia. We hiked this trail on our 2nd day, so the fall colors are just starting. We ate lunch and stopped to take pictures, so the hike took 5 hours. According to Ursula's watch, it was a 10k hike. The finish was a steady climb to the parking lot. Point Wolfe Road is opposite the campground entrance. About 7 kilometers in, the road passes over the river. The river flows into the Bay of Fundy about 1 kilometer further down. That was our destination, Point Wolfe Beach. The red chairs were waiting for us. Two kilometers in on Point Wolfe Road are the Dickson Falls. The trail is mostly stairs and boardwalks. We were there at the beginning of our stay and decided to return after we had some good rain. Totally worth it. The falls are deep in a gorge with very little sunlight. Mosses cover the ground and the slopes, and the temperature is much lower than above. The water drops in multiple steps, and every waterfall has its own features. The fresh, moist air, the sound, and the deep green make this a unique trail. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you out there.